My name's Dave Curley. I'm the president of the Grand River Woodturners Guild. Yeah, early. All right. We're recording, so a couple of other people that are in our that are of importance today maybe is Steve back there. He takes membership dues if you haven't paid or are looking to be a new member. Tom has got some tickets for raffle. Tom or Steve or I will do that when he's doing the demo in the breaks. What else we got? Doug's our past president. All right, so just an explanation of some of the club benefits. We have a library. I'd like to bring up something about the library in a minute too. Supplies, apparel that we have. We have mentors that are listed in our newsletter. If you're a mentor here today, just raise your hand. Thanks.
Can I say something about mentors?
Sure.
Don't be afraid to approach us if you want to get with somebody doing something. I think that's hard for a lot of people. They're afraid to walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, I need some help." Or just walk up. I'm fine. I have people up in my shop now that pandemic and everything over on a weekly basis. Just get a hold of somebody. There's somebody probably in this room that does that. The guy from Caledonia last month here came up to my shop and some stuff together. So don't be afraid to approach people if you want to get with them.
Right, exactly.
You don't have to be a beginner. Well, we're talking about that, seeing you're a man. I need a brake job. You come over and help me. I know how to do that, but I won't. Okay.
All right. So we have, a couple times a year, we've got professional demos coming in. We've got local demos today. We've got Tom Penninga, one of our local members that's going to do a show and tell for us. Raffle tickets, all this stuff goes, to help the club and to help you guys. So, do we have any guests today or new members? Any guests? Nope. Anybody on? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Can you tell us your name?
Scott Dennison.
Scott Dennison. New to wood turning or just kind of? Are you new to wood turning?
Yeah.
Okay. These guys, looks like you might be getting some good help here. So, all right. Well, welcome. Once again, today's demo is Tom Penninga, multi-axis square bowls. You can kind of see where he's going to start out with right here. Next month, it's Ron, right? Ron.
Yeah.
Ron's doing. And
You're stuck with me.
yeah, well, I think it's going to be okay. I think we'll live through it. So, so how do you pronounce the Mumanchan? Yeah, I stumble over too many letters. Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, so that's. Are you going to do like turning two or?
Probably gonna do something like the bird,
Okay, but right through the whole process or?
the whole process.
All right, good.
Obviously, you can't configure
Sure,
one in a
sure,
day.
right.
They're hard to do in 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
I'll explain some of the process when I bring that up for show and tell.
Okay, that's good. Let's see, future demos we've got coming up, and I don't have the month that we have him scheduled for, but Jim Scarcella and Nick Agar. No, Nick is locked in for October, right?
He is locked in for October.
Okay. And there's going to be hands-on classes that are going to be available with Nick and with.
We'll have 3 days, hands-on.
3 days hands-on?
And that'll be prior to the demo.
Okay, prior to the demo.
Demo here on Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he will be teaching at my place.
Okay,
That's the way it's set up right now.
okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Dave, could you repeat the highlights of that for the folks online?
Yes, this is for Nick Agar in October. Nick will be here 3 days prior to our demo. Yeah, October, what did I say, December? Okay, sorry, it's the October meeting for Nick Agar. He'll be here 3 days prior doing hands-on classes, and those classes will be at Ron's house because he'll have the lathes from from the retreat at that point anyway, so. And so there'll be probably 6 or 8 openings. 8 lays for those hands-on classes. They'll be, when we get that laid out a little better, we'll share it to the people, share it to the members. Yeah, Tom?
It'll be the 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Okay. 18th, 19th, and 20th of October for Nick Agar.
Do we know what the hands-on?
Thanks.
I don't know that we know them quite yet, unless Ron wants to.
No, we haven't set up the classes. Nick is still overseas, so we haven't communicated a great deal. As soon as he's back in the country here, we'll take a look at his classes. Each day will be a different class. I know we're gonna start out with his bowl, the Sunset Bowl. That's his most popular thing to teach, and everybody loves it. That's texturing and just a basic bowl, and he takes it to the next level. He did in Phoenix, I was out there last week, he did 3 days, each day a different class. So we'll work on that as soon as Nick gets back. It'll be an exciting time, it really will.
Yeah, and we're in charge for the class?
Yes, absolutely. Nick is one of the most expensive professionals in the marketplace today. And the price of travel and the price of bringing somebody in has gone through the roof, mainly because IRDs, and nobody wants to do what Nick's doing, okay? It's nothing to spend $800 to $1,000 a day to get somebody in to actually do a in-person demo.
It's gonna cost us almost $5,000 to get them here for those 4 days.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're trying to go elsewhere to do that,
Okay, let me give you an example.
4 times that.
Okay, I've always admired Nick's work, and he's a great guy to be around. So I looked, he's got a studio in Savannah, Georgia, with 8 American Beauty lays. So if I want to get down there for 4 days, it's $735 for the class. It's $150 for supplies, and I still have to get to Savannah, and I got to stay 5 or 6 nights. So what you're going to pay here for a whole day is going to be a steal, okay? So we've still got some homework to do as managers. How much are we going to charge? Nick won't do more than 8 lays. We'll probably have 11 or 12 lays at my house, but he'll only teach to 8. So yeah, there'll be a charge, okay? But I think it's a steal. And I think in the beginning, we'll probably limit it to members here. I think we're all in agreement on that.
Open it up after our members.
If we have slots available, we'll open it up to the world. And I'll tell you, those slots will fill in just a few minutes. I know there's guys that have heard the rumor he's coming, have already contacted me from other clubs. Each month, next month, I hope I can tell you everything we're gonna do. I'm just not sure when Nick's gonna be available to talk, okay?
Hey, Ron, while you're here, do you have any update for the retreat?
I do have a retreat update, okay? I've been saying this for years, but we've etched it in stone. This is the last one, okay?
Yeah.
Tom, age has caught up to me, okay? And the project has gotten to be, yeah, you. It's just gotten to be a load. And we had a meeting, Dave and myself and Joe and Tom Hale from Columbus. I think we all know that it's run its course. I think what hurt the most is the cost of travel. I lost 5 instructors this year. I've never lost an instructor. Once they make a commitment, they're there. Jerry from North Carolina spent $700 last year in diesel fuel. He brought up 7 lays, a big ass trailer, and he canceled this year. And I understand it. So This is the last. I have room for a few more people. Send me a check or go into the last email, and there'll be another email come out this week with class lists on it, and you'll be able to sign up shortly. I'll cut it off shortly too. I'll bring in about 10 more people, that's it. But this is the last year, I can promise you. I'm done. I'm tired. If any of you want to step up, and I know there's other clubs that are listening in, if you want this event, I'll work with you, but it's your event, it's not mine. I have tents, I've got lathes, I've got electric. I hate to see it die, but it's better it goes before me.
Thank you, Ron. So a couple of other things that are coming up. If Brett Bivens was here either last month or the month before, talking about the Festival of the Arts competition, regional arts. If you're interested in getting in that, you still have some time to do that.
Do you know what the date is for that?
I think the drop off date is the week of like the 27th. Yeah. Yes, this month.
It's this one.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have to pick up a judge.
Yeah.
Dan Broder or whatever.
Yep. And at this point, I'm planning on entering. I haven't done it yet, but the person that enters obviously can't be the judge. Right? So we'll have to pick up a judge. If you're interested in that, yeah. Well, maybe I could just drop out this year. Okay. Yeah, and I think everybody knows AAW Symposium is coming up first week of June. Festival of the Arts, or the Festival of the Arts weekend is also the first week of June. One thing I was talking about librarian. We haven't had a librarian here since probably before COVID. And I know that the Kalamazoo Club, the West Michigan Woodturners Club, has recently picked up someone who's very passionate about their library. And I'd like to try to get the same thing here, just someone that can, you just kind of go through it, see what's there, what's out, and maybe find ways to, do a little bit more promotion on it. If you're interested in something like that, give me a shout. I'd like to see something in there. Are there any other announcements?
Got a couple of quick things about supplies.
You wanna?
Just a couple quick things about supplies. I need some feedback on the ArborNet. We brought that in a while back. Are people using it? Do you want us to continue with that or not? So any feedback would be great. And also, I do have resupplied the face shields. They're $40, but they're coming with the anti-fog lenses in them. So that's almost a $30 replacement now. So I think I have 4 left. So if anybody's interested, you know where to find me.
Okay.
Dave, I see we had a question from the online group about the retreat. Someone's wondering, do you need to be vaccinated to attend Ron's retreat?
Not a chance. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not, okay? You don't have to wear a mask. We're past COVID. I had COVID back in August. I survived it. We're gonna live with it. None of that at the retreat is necessary.
That being said, if you know you have COVID, stay home. Okay, I guess we're ready for show and tell. If we've got people online that want to get queued up, we'll do you after.
Ryan, just a reminder to the folks online, if you have show and tell, if you can click the reactions and then button on the bottom of your screen and then click raise your hand, that'll help us when the time comes.
Okay, line up for show and tell.
Hi, my name's Doug Brinks. I'm a wood turner. I've been a wood turner for almost 10 years. My younger brother's taken on the task of repairing antique clocks. So he dropped us off at my house and said, I need a couple finials. Well, he said, I just need one, but he didn't realize this one was broke off too. And I tried to convince him that there were probably, which camera are you on here? I tried to convince him that there was originally little spheres at the top of these finials, but he didn't think so. So I'd made some replacement finials, and I actually made him with spheres to try to sell him on that, but he's like, yeah. He actually found a clock that was similar, a picture of it, and it didn't have spheres. So I ground them back off and said, okay, here you go. It's up to him to cut them and mount them on there. So that was a fun little project I did earlier this week. Then my other thing here is I got a couple of bowls that I cored from a huge burl. This burl was giant. It was grew on two sides of the tree, weighed over 300 pounds. I got 5 bowls from one side of it and 3 bowls from the other side. This is part of the 5 bowl set. And they all had beautiful, beautiful striations in them. It's silver maple, so it's one of those, you get lucky sometimes, you know how it is, John. Sometimes you cut them burls open, it's like, can't believe I spent $80 on this. So, but this one was a keeper, so there's my work.
Name's Terry Leafers. I've been a wood turner for 63 years. My dad I bought a lathe when I about 7th grade, and I became the president of 4-H club, so I turned myself a gavel back about 1960. Then didn't do much turning for quite a number of years, and somebody loaned a shopsmith to me. And I was building a house that had a lot of redwood banisters and handrails. So some redwood cutoffs. I turned this back in 1975. And then I had shoulder replacement surgery about a month ago. And this is the first thing I turned after my shoulder surgery. So I'm back on board now.
Yeah, Bruce, can you turn your camera off? I don't want to make you sick looking at these. They're not round and brown, Bruce.
You haven't learned how to do that yet, or what?
This is ugly on the river. These started from Mummenschanz. These Mummenschanz are different shapes and forms. They're not anything realistic. And I've had so much fun with these. The other 2 sold in almost 20 minutes on Facebook, okay? This was, first he was called Stretch because he stood this high, the neck was too long. I got him disproportioned, so I took him back to the bandsaw, cut his neck apart, and started reassembling the way I wanted it to appear.
Thank God his kids are all the way ahead.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
Now, this is the first time I've used this paint. It's Aztec paint. Even the black is a reflective metallic look to the black. So there's 5 colors of blue on here over the top of the black. And then towards the top, I did yellow and red. This is all wood burned and textured. And that's how it comes to be. These were the first ones I made. And I just had tremendous fun with those. Now, these are all made out of dry cherry. This was 3 inches thick, this piece of cherry. I think this was too when I started. So again, they're turned in a cone, okay? And then take it over to the bandsaw and start cutting it apart, turning these things and twisting them the direction you want. Sounds really simple, but I've now learned to trace out my cone, make a tracing, and then start cutting it apart so I get my angles correct. I had one where the angle was just horrible. So when I glued it together, I thought, well, I can break it apart. Well, I couldn't, so I just took it over the bandsaw, made another cut, got it to the angle I wanted. In the next month's demo, I'll show you how I pick these angles and how I safely cut them on the bandsaw. I've made a jig to hold these, and all it is a V-groove with Turner's tape in it, because when you get narrow like this, it wants to spin on you. So with the tape, it stays in place. I don't have to worry about things flying around. Also this week, a dear friend will be at Woodcraft, Alex Snodgrass. Don't miss the lecture. I don't know how long it is. I think some of us will get together afterwards at a bar downtown here with Alex once he's done. So I hope to see some of you there. Questions, comments on these? They're so simple to make. You can turn these in 15 minutes. And then you got about 4 or 5 days of work. Yeah.
I was thinking you could take those to Comic-Con and sell them to Dune fans.
I said, yeah, I don't have to worry about selling these. The birds,
Yeah.
seriously, I sold within 15 minutes, 2 of them. One went to Franklin, Tennessee. They share a driveway with Brad Paisley. The other one went to a docent at the Toledo Art Museum. So that piece is at the Art Museum now, and I'm hopeful of getting a show there.
We still got a couple here. Those are small.
They are. I needed a magnifying glass to do this. That's a tough act to follow. Thanks, Ron. Sometimes I do smaller stuff. I can't seem to get past scraps of wood that turn up in the firewood pile or laying around in the shop. This thing must have laid around for 30 years. I wondered why I glued a piece of walnut to a piece of maple and then put it on a shelf. At any rate, I made this out of it, turned a little thing, then I thought this needed a cover too, and put a rock in there. For no particular reason, so I gold leaf the rock too.
Hang on, before you flip that up and show me the gold piece in the middle there.
That's 23 karat leaf on a Petoskey stone. Yeah, this is just a piece of firewood, kind of a wing bowl. It's white oak with little black oak burl cover. It's kind of nice inside. Why, I got the special lathe. Isn't that amazing how much they change? You gotta look and put a tape on some of the larger ones. They'll move over an inch.
Do you have any of those mushrooms? I'm Dave Curley, as you know, and last month, right? It was last month that you did your demo.
Yes.
So these were the tail ends of his piece that he did the demo on. And, when I first started, probably been 10 years now, I was self-taught and I just picked up anything. I made a lot of mushrooms, sold a lot of mushrooms at craft shows. One thing I liked about these, and I'm not sure if we can see this, or if I get this in the camera, the resin that was on that burl is still on here. You can see through here. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I wanted to keep that on. When I picked up those pieces, and actually we were sweeping up bits of resin here, that was actually a burl that came from you. Yeah, so same thing here. There's a little bit of resin in here yet. And, you know, they're nothing fancy, but I just, you know, when I started, I'd see a piece like that and I'd say, I'll make a mushroom out of that, you know? So the other thing I have is actually Dave online. If you could post that picture. This is a collaboration piece that I've done with a lady named Renee Harris. Harris or Harrison? I can't recall right at the moment, but she's in Oregon and she does pine needle basketry. And so I did the top and bottom of the piece, sent it out to her, and she did the center section. Now it's a vase, it's completely hollow. If you can imagine the bottom as a cup and the top as an inverted bowl with a hole in it. So, but it's hollow all the way inside. The other aspect of this that I sent her was a center section, which she filled in, is a form that she works around to get to the piece to be the shape that it is. So you know, she just sent me this yesterday to say, hey, how's this look? I can tear it apart and make it over again if you want me to. Because, you know, with that kind of work, especially when she's doing something kind of new, she said she started it over 5 times. And I said, don't start it over, it looks fine. You know, so this is the stitch is a pattern. It's either a modified popcorn stitch or a modified wheat stitch. So, but it, you know, I was looking up the pattern and was like, well, it's either this or that, but it's not either one. So, but anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. That's willow and longleaf pine needles in the center with linen thread, waxed linen thread. So she's going to send that back, and then we'll try to sell it and split the money, which is probably going to be enough to cover the shipping charges. Anybody else online?
Yeah, we've got a couple people online. John McGee, why don't you unmute yourself and go ahead?
Well, I've been fascinated with Hawaii and Yamaki for years, so I did a little messing around and got my round bottom. This is a piece of Canadian cherry. A friend of mine down a little way down the road had 3 Canadian cherry trees, and he got tired of having them because they weren't producing anything, so he took them out and gave me the trunks. So I've got trunk wood, but this is hollowed down. The bottom's a little thicker than the walls. And it's an unusual height proportion for the Yamaki, even the tall ones. This was a piece of junk scrap wood that had a big check. And I just took the bandsaw and slotted into it and inserted a piece of wood to fill the crack, and then I turned this vessel out of that. And this will get a lid eventually. And then last 2 weeks ago, I took a turning class from Emiliano Oxoval when he was here in Anchorage for our wood turning symposium, and turned a low calabash. This is mahogany of some sort. I'm not sure if it's Honduran mahogany or whatever. It's very dry, but the trick is to get that continuous curve, and my curve is kind of flat toward the bottom, but it is a continuous curve. You can't lay a straight edge on this thing and have it touch more than one location as it goes across the bottom. So having a chance to actually turn with the guy that is one of the premier calabash turners was great, because I've watched these IRDs. In fact, I joined the Grand River guys because you had Emiliano as one of your members only deal, 3 years ago or so. And the price of admission was, as a member, was really right. So I reached into the sock and shook all the moths out of the way and pulled up a $25 bill and joined you. It's been great ever since. I've really enjoyed the Grand River meetings. That's all I've got.
Thanks. Steve, why don't you go ahead, unmute and share what you have?
All right. Hi, guys. Steve Bajowski here. I'm from the Lake City area, a little bit further north. Joined you guys, I think, in November. Started turning in December, and I just got a couple bulls to show you today. I turned. They're pretty simple. This one's turned out of walnut, finished in walnut oil. It's kind of nice. It had a knot in it, which I had taped in as I cut the inside. And then when I took the tape off, it dropped on the floor of the shop, and it's still out there somewhere. But that's one of them. And then I turned this curly maple the other day, and it's dried out and oblonged into a really nice shape. I still got to turn the bottom on it, but that's turning real nice. And I got another small maple here that I turned a while back. It's a small bowl, but just thought I'd introduce myself and show you what I've been up to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else